Hello and welcome to Fix My City on Asake Online. My name is Lesley Moyo. In this program, we focus on service delivery issues affecting the city of Bulawayo as well as the Matabeleland region as a whole. We continue with our coverage of the Bulawayo City Parking project. I know it has raised a number of controversies with Bulawayo residents raising alarm at the parking fees that were introduced by the local authority. And in last week's program, we spoke to an official from the Bulawayo City Council who gave us an outline of the whole project on how they arrived at some of the charges that they've pegged for motorists who would want to use parking bays within the central business district of Bulawayo. And as a follow-up to that, the Bulawayo Progressive Residents Associations this week convened a stakeholder engagement meeting where officials from the Bulawayo City Council were present to explain more on this project. The residents also raised a number of concerns. They said that they were not consulted before the project was rolled out by the local authority. But in their defense, the local authority says that they did indeed have a stakeholder engagement meeting end of last year where those who were present gave the project a thumbs up. So let's get to hear more from this stakeholder engagement meeting.
Justice project manager what is for a project le esingayo okokuqala ngicela ukuthi ngisho ukuthi idolobho lethu elabo Bulawayo sikhangelele ukuya phambili ukho konke esikwenzayo sithi siya phambili i-vision yabo Bulawayo is that idolobho leli by 2024 it should be lithungamele by being a smart transformative city of 2024. So ezinye zezinto eziqhathekileyo if we are going to be a smart city ukuthi sikhangele izinto ezizasifikisa ku-vision leyo esilayo. One of the issues that we have had to deal with is parking within the city. Parking within the city. Sukusela kudala le idolobho lalivele libhadalisa ukupaka phakathi kwedolobho ku-CBD kule 30 minutes kule 1 hour nama 2 hours zones. Abakhula kudala bazakhumbula ukuthi kwakulama machines okwakufakwa khona imali uthi ungafika ufake icoin yakho ungafaka icoin ikunike 30 minutes zakho zingedlula lapha noma umuntu uhlala after every 30 minutes ubuye usuzonjani uzojusa. And then we moved kwaba lezana ezinye owuthola kungekho phambi kwemoto yakho kodwa kule 6 bays wena ufika uthi ukuthi ubhake kuyiphi bay then usufaka imali for the time that you thought you were going to stay. Ngokuya kwesikhathi kwasokuchaya inflation part wedolobho uthe sokuchaya inflation we introduced ama booklets lama disc ngoba kwasokunzima ukuthi abantu bethole amacoin engasatholakala. Kwasuka khonapho over the years kwabanzima futhi ukuthi silandelele ama disc ngoba izikhathi eziningi one wawuthola ukuthi abanye abantu genuinely uyangena into the city edlulu vele Harare uye follows vele eBite Bridge uya ePlant ukuthi umtshela ukuthi nxa ungafika koBulawayo hamba ethenga idisk revenue. Kwasuka kwaba problem ngoba lapho ethengwa khona idisk kwayingakho kwangatholakala ukuthi ungaphi. Njengesithi sasesihlala phansi sathi how can we make this thing to be more accessible ebantwini singagcini sisenza ukuthi abantu bethwale nzima ukubhadalela iparking ngoba abantu bayabe befuna ukubhadala kodwa indlela yokuthi bengabhadala ngayo iyo eyabe isisehlula ukuthi bengenza njani. Sase advertiser according to ama procurement regulations ukuthi sicela liletho kuthiwa expression of interest. Advertised for expression of interest. Expression of interest reply ama companies. There were 10 that responded. Wasokukhangela ukuthi kathi bathi vele okukhona out there in the world esingakusebenzisa ikuphi. After that, we selected 4 companies that we thought ukuthi lawa yiwale technology esisebenzayo kathesi. From there, we then moved on. Sasesifacela ukuthi kabalethe ama full-fledged bids as per ama regulations. They brought those bids, then we evaluated them. Seswa evaluated because of the size of the project and also because of ukuthi our partners, yet also partners from outside that they were going to come with. We then moved to take this thing to the Zimbabwe Investment and Development Authority, IZIDA. IZIDA yayikhangela iproject leyi, bakhangela konke okukhelane le project ukuthi ama citizens are they going to benefit, council is it going to benefit, are people not being ripped off. Wadlula lapho wapasa wabe kusiya ku cabinet, wahlalelwa icabinet yelizwe, cabinet yelizwe yabe kupasisa. I think some of us might have seen it on the TV. That should have been sometime in August last year. After that, we then called our citizens. Citizens, we now have this project that we have. Can we have your input? It should have been the 18th of September, if I'm not mistaken. 17th of September. Yes, it was. Amayama faces in Yabona la pesa sila. Then we discussed the issue with all of us, and then also say implementation AU esikale uyenza ngathesi from 18 February. So this has been our journey. Ngithenginike nje i-background yokuthi how did we come to be in that SS code. I-parking management le ikhangelele ukuthi kube le 7,200 parking bays within the city that will be covered. Sikhangele kusuka ku 3rd Avenue sisiyafika ku 15th Avenue, sisuke la ngapha ku Parerinyathwa sisiyafika ngale ukolobheni la street. Ngeke ngitsho lokho ukuthi okuqhathekile ukuthi i-parking management wa managing i-parking within the city. So yikho okumqoka. So esikukhangeleleyo ikuyini phakathi kwedorobho kumele ukuthi kube le order and sanity within the central business area. Lizavumelana nami ukuthi kathesi abantu bepaka loba kungapi. Abama tax uzavumelana nami ukuthi usuthola umuntu epakile endaweni lapho kumele ukuthi ukupake i-tax. So we then need to put order within the city. Singafaki order within the city. We also need to increase security within the city. Uzananzelela ukuthi nxa umashale khona phana evele khangele ama bays angu-20 phambi kwakhe, ulapho ukuthi ekhanye ebona ukuthi kwenzakalani indlela phakathi kwezimota, ulapho ukuthi okunye ukuntshontshe sokusiba khona kuyehle kuye phansi. We are also looking at managing nje i-traffic phakathi kwedorobho la. Idorobho ungalikhangela kuhle over the years lase liqale kuhle idorobho leli ukuthi liyavula kube lama shopping complex lan ngokuya kwesikhathi kusenzekela ukuthi kudecongeste i-CBD wonke umuntu engafuni ukuthi ebuye koBulawayo because kucina kusiba labo traffic jam. So one of the benefits, one of the objectives is that we want to decongest the central business area. Okunye, of course, nxa sisenza njalo ngenxa ukuthi sile 7,200 base uthi ukuthi so labantu phakathi kwedorobho somele ukuthi beqathwe kwenzela ukuthi sifikise inamba leyani yokuthi each person ekhangele i-20 base. So you are looking at abantu abazaqathwa within the city, about 400 abantu to be on the streets. So yikho okukhangelelweyo. And then last but not least of it also ukuthi imali igenerate from the streets ezabuyela ukulungisisa imigwaqo. So engutsho ukuthi from this lokuzeni we are also looking at ukuthi we will ring fence the funds so that they can benefit the citizens. So ama benefits akhona yona la ukuthi once we ring fence the funds and they go back to the citizens imigwaqo ilungiswe, it means ukuthi lana ama shops landana okunye ithu so kuzahlala longa. Nxa kuhlala longa it means ukuthi as a citizen lawe imali osuyisebenzisa ukwenza ezinye izinto isisiba vele ngoba sesikwanisa ukuthi silungise indawo. Okwesibili kulaba asebeke baya lapha esesiqalise khona lizananzelela ukuthi ukuhlanzeka kwedorobho sokujijile in that area. The more abantu behlala besendaweni eyodwa isikhathi eside, the more bengcolisa idorobho. Kulabantu lapha nade befika bepake ngo7 kuze kecha u9 ebusuku lokho ebhakile esenza ibusiness yakhe on the street. Ansoke mbaqamba batho siyabazi sonke. And some had even gone to the audacity yokuthi uyafika epake phambi kwaboDickies, uDickies barons lapha. Yeah, wena ungakayingena ku shop yabo barons yena sehlefunga ukuthengisela yena le stock sonke istock imoto yakhe isi shop phambi kwe shop. So one of the benefits is that umntwana lwana ubetshona khona pha uyadla uyathenga lokhu ulahlela amaphepha phansi, then that will be a thing of the past. And then also kulabantu ade sebefika bepake laphana phambi uma parking bays begeziselwe izimoto. Geziselwe izimoto zingaqeda ukugeza sesuka sezihambele. It's now cheaper for him. Kodwa nxa ku cheaper for him ucosta idorobho ngoba ama detergents lana they are now reacting with ama paintings with itara isiphangisa ukudlela. Ungakhangela lapha dokusenzakala khona isikhathi eziningi itara yakhona ibidleka masinyane. Njalo i-criminal activity once sokuthi abantu kuba lula ukuthi ama criminals engabi khona. Ama criminals they thrive endaweni ezi-congested. Yikho ubona ukuthi kube kulula ukuthi uchayele isikhwama nxa usegodini ngale. Kube nzima ukuthi uchayele isikhwama kwesisikhathi nxa ulapha lokuzeni esithole. Ama criminals they thrive lapho abantu aba-congested khona. So by decongesting the city, i-criminal activity izayehla. And also okunye okukhangelelwe angazi ngibelike lananzelela ukuthi during isikhathi se-COVID our air was more cleaner than now. The more the cars are traveling, the more we are killing our own environment. So okunye sikukhangeleleyo njenge-city sikhangelela ukuthi lokhu kuzenza ukuthi mina ade ngibuya le mota lomkami ubuya le mota nomntanami ubuya le mota, right? Sicabanga ukuthi hayi ingcono ukuthi singene emoteni eyodwa. By doing that we are looking after our environment. So ngokunye okukhangelelweyo ngelokuzeni ukuthi we reduce i-carbon emission within the city okuzenza ukuthi i-impact on the climate ibe low. Lathi sike siphefumule umoya oclean njengama-citizens kuzenza ukuthi lathi sibe healthier, lathi siphile impilo ende. Njalo okunye esikukhangeleleyo sengike ngakutsho ukuthi imigwaqo yethu i-lifespan yayo ithuthuke ngoba kathesi ade kusenzakala ukuthi ngenxa yamanye ama-activities ade senzakala imigwaqo igcina isidleka masinyane. Okumqoka kakhulu okhangelelweyo ukuthi abantu they should get ama-customer they should get i-parking to amalokuzeni ama-businesses where they want to go and do business. Kathesi ngithe ngifika la the-challenge ukupaka la ngicina siyapaka ngayo, but I'm meant to come and do business in this area. So okunye okukhangelelweyo ikhonokho ukuthi hayi i-parking has always been for customers who come and go to these businesses. Asibanikeni that privilege so that they can park. And of course, last not least, there has to be income which will then be used for amalokozeni imigwaqo yethu. I-partner esilayo i-TTI is coming in with the investment of 2.2 million that they are investing into ezisobala esesizibonile kulama-tags babonile ama-sensors that they put on the road. Kuyathengwa ama-sensors, kuyathengwa ama-terminals, lokho kuyabe kusetshenziswa ama-marshals lama-printers angikhona kule mota zokuthowa ezizabuya. Njalo to enhance i-security on the street kulama-CCTVs azafakwa kwenzela ukuthi kuncedise ku-security yezimota on the streets. Njalo kule software that they are coming with ababuya layo. Right. Bese siya endabeni engxenye enza ukuthi sonke sifisa ukuthi sibe la. I-pricing, how have we priced our parking? I-pricing in instances not changed. Ungahamba kathesi video ekhangela kulama 30 minutes parking zones, kulama 1 hour parking zones, kulama 2 hour parking zones. Kodwa also kuchinjile ukuthi kathesi wa enforcing. Before we're not enforcing, abantu bebengelandaba. Kodwa ngenxa ukuthi kathesi sesi-enforce abantu sebeqalisa ukuba le ndaba, but ungakukhangela even laba ade behamba besithengisela ama-leaflets bevele besithengisela at $1, but we were not actually singelandaba kangako as citizens because i-council was not enforcing what it was. Kodwa engakutsho kathesi ukuthi ubuhle bangikhona ukuthi i-council unlike OK, unlike Greens, unlike any other place, i-dollar lethu is at bank market rate. So kuthi ukuthi umuntu nxa eseya laphana yazithwalela 120 bond yakhe efike ebhadala ukupaka for 30 minutes, and then kwezinye indawo it is 120 bond for 1 hour. Angazi abanye bengathi iphezulu kakhulu, abanye bengathi phansi, angazi kuya ngomuntu la esekhangela. Kodwa kuthi ukuthi uma 30 minutes zone ungakukhangela kuhle uphosa kulingane lokuthenga ilofu yesinkwa in 1 hour, because ilofu yesinkwa is about 200 bond. So ungakukhangela kuhle, that's what it comes to. I know ukuthi abantu abaningi bebesithi siza multiply 30 minutes times 8 hours kuphumele $16 a day. Ngicela ukuthi ngihle ngikutsho phambilini ukuthi i-parking in front of ama-shops is meant for customers to come, patronage, and go. So we're not looking at umuntu ukuthi ilanga lonke tshona ubhake phambi kwani kwe-30 minutes zone. Lapho futhi kule 30 minutes zone kulama 1 hour zones. So ulapho ukuthi wena nxa ngabona ukuthi hayi mina esami isikhwama so yesanelise ku-30 minutes. Uhle uye ku-1 hour zone. So ama-options ethu as we move along, there will be many. Ngeke ngitsho futhi okunye. This is very interesting. Ilapha house leya esikuthi a basement esuka from khona ngale almost half of that between 8th and 9th Avenue and 8th and 9th Avenue, right? It's a big basement. All along, all their managers were parking on the road. But since we started Lokuze, all of them, they are parking cars. Akula muntu olokuzile on a challenge. So it shows Uti some of the practices that we're now doing as a city. I say there are some places like you go Dulis where you've got your underground parking and your overhead parking that they can rent out. Lapha ade sokuyibar okunye sokugeseli lokuzeni o NRZ packet center, it's for parking. You would find ukuthi instead of people renting places there, abantu abaningi besebechiya there. Recently I heard ukuthi labo besefuna ukwenza kube ngama cubicles omncane just like in Lesley because there is no patronage. If Bulawayo Center, the whole of it is sitting on top of it, parking bays that people used to rent, but now people they are no longer renting, and all of those they are parking on the road. So this thing, it's also meant to, as citizens, let's go back and park like where we are supposed to park, and let's leave the parking for our patronages, those who come and do businesses, who make business, and then they go out. So I was just taking a survey. The building there has got 52 companies. Each company has got probably 2 people who are driving. So if we make it affordable, it means we are going to have abantu ababuya. So let's be sensitive also to parking. What was it meant for as we move forward? Who's asinceda khona kyana?
Ibizo lami Moronke Msibanda, ngisebenza ngisiyapha ku-trust. Siyabonga kakhulu mfowethu nge-presentation. I think sicacise ezinye izinto ebesifisa ukwazi ngazo. Kodwa nonetheless ngizahamba ngixoxe nje ngama-perspectives akhona, which is to say what has been coming out from abantu esisebenza labo and also the organizations that we are working on. I think maybe ngiqalele endabeni yemali because ngibona ngani indaba which is a bit of an issue. Laphana sikhulumile, I think oqala was comparing indaba yemali ezibhadalwayo also with other countries in the world. And Maunanzelela, there are some countries that pay way more than we are paying. There are also countries as Badala or Uluchwana Wait. Umfowethu laphana ukhulumile futhi ngokuthi ama-parking bays lawa ama-charges ayevele khona they were the same lakudala. But what has been coming out is ukuthi isikhathi sesitshintshile. The money that people were getting kudala laphana efakwa khona and the mali abantu abayithola khathesi kakufanayo. And also just to give an example from researching in Berlin, Germany, 1 hour is €2, which is just a bit more than $2. We should say it's almost the same, the 30 minutes allowed. But what we need to understand when you're talking about Berlin, you will find that minimum wage in an hour is around close to $10. Of which we are comparing someone who is earning close to $10 but like close to $2 an hour. It makes sense, it's understandable. But the argument would be, ukuthi abantu ngapha, are they making that same amount? That is one of the issues that is really came out. And also comparing to countries that are very close to us. When you do your research, you find that airport in Cape Town, it's $1, it's $1.01 for an hour airport in Cape Town. So if you are going to compare Cape Town and Lapa and also the amounts that people are making, that's where the issue comes. But the understanding is there and the appreciation is there on making sure that ECTA siyayinanzelela, siyayigcina. But the issues that have been coming were on consultation. Where that consultations were there, but now the issue is on extensive consultation, where it was there but it did not reach a lot of people. Yes, the shortcomings have been highlighted. It was during a time where there were a lot of restrictions, but people feel the sense that they were not consulted extensively on the issue. And some of the issues that have been coming out that we've been gathering ukuthi kuhle ngoba kuchasisiwe ukuthi umfowethu lapho uchasisile on the future ukuthi kuzayenzakalani. But from what people have been observing have been that the company yaphinda laphana yamaka amas where abantu abaphaka khona. So now the questions we're saying, but the city council could have done the same. Why are we having a company which should then make it ama-charges akhona ahambe abe phezulu? And one of the other concerns that were coming were that in the areas, I believe is called, it is Zone 1. We understand that in Zone 1, only prime parking, the businesses that are in Zone 1 are not the same. The revenue that Edgar is going to collect is not going to be the same to other companies. Which is to say, other companies are going to drown in Akonalo. Because as an example, with the understanding that okay, I have to pay for parking, but currently, because Minda Greens is not prime, it will mean that I'm not going to go to OK. And if I'm not going to go to OK, there are other businesses that are close to OK, where I could have gone and say, OK, but now I'm not going to that place. It might lead to a lot of things. One of them might be loss of employment. Because if I have a small business, only prime parking, it means that it will be difficult for me to then pay those people that work for me. I will have to cut on people. I understand that the reason behind this is to create employment, but we also risk also losing their employment. And also the reason why there was also a comparison with other first world countries, with other countries that are more developed than us, is that the understanding that a lot of people are formally employed in those areas, but which is different with our economy, where there is a lot of informal employment. So there are a lot of people that get to benefit. About issues to do with the abantu abagezisi's motor. There are also vendors that serve them. But those are people, they are informally employed. I know they are in the wrong places, but also on that own it means there is a lot of income that is going to be lost, a lot of livelihoods that are going to be affected. And also there was a talk of, and on informal trade, I think one thing which is very important, there are a lot of young people that we're now running away from. Young people are known for petty crime. But we understand that in a lot of areas, that person is now was getting some form of income. So now when the idea is to say, let's get them out, it means we might also lead to other things. And also, there were who also talked about congestion. We understand that. I think the idea is great. We love Bulawayo. I think everyone who is here is from Bulawayo and they love Bulawayo. And Sonke, we complain about congestion. But the fact that currently for now, like I said, I'm not going to park go zone 1 because I can't afford. It means I'm not the only person who's thinking about moving my car from zone 1, taking to a place where Ama charges are cheap. What we are doing, we are decongesting zone 1, but we are congesting other areas. So now the thinking is that petty crime will also increase in other areas. A lot of us, we are afraid to go on 3rd Avenue because there's a lot of congestion there. There's pickpocketing there. We are afraid to park your car there because we want to figure out where to turn. But now, this is pushing people to that. And also, I think we also identified the issue with littering. To say that people are being removed here, but they're now going to go and congest certain areas. Which would mean that the problem that they're trying to run away from here is also going to go to the other areas where was about the littering in those areas. So therefore, a lot of people are not opposed to the charging system. I think I'll need to clarify that. Because you understand that the city has to run, the city needs to have revenue, the roads have to be fixed. But now it's on the charge to say that if people could afford $1.30 in 99, can they still afford it now? To say that when we are talking about such issues, we need to think about issues such as purchasing power parity, such as income per capita, to say what are people making? Because there was an article that came out in Chronically that was saying, which is very true, which was saying that average civil servants, they earn give or take 30,000 thereabout. And when you are now doing the official one, that's give or take $120. Even if we are not talking about parking the whole thing, how many people can afford that? So that is the issue. And what was also raised was that it will be important for us to have a feasibility study to say, what are the people making? What is it that they can afford? I understand also it got to cabinet level. But it's also important for us to have a clear understanding that purchasing power parity in Harare is not the same as Bulawayo. What someone in Harare can afford, someone in Bulawayo might not be able to afford. So those were the issues to say, while the idea is great and people love it, we've been talking about the congestion in the city, the litter in the city, but now let's talk about the figures, let's talk about the money to say, can people afford that? And I think, to go back to the first point, it was on consultation. And I understood that consultation was done on, I might be wrong, but it was done in September. But when it was done in September, from the presentation that we got, it was after everything had been done. So because you also love Bulawayo, you are also part of Bulawayo. And also the people that come to the CPT are not only the people that live in the CPT. So if it is possible to have extensive consultation that involves everyone. And also, I believe decongesting the city cannot be the solution for Nkulumani Complex and Ntumbane Complex. Because the fact that Nkulumani Complex and Ntumbane Complex, the collapse it has nothing to do with decongesting the city. There are a lot of other factors which are not part of this, which will need to be discussed on the economy of those areas, but that cannot be a solution.
parking fees less as called realistic. I think that is the easiest way that I can find. Any road. It's not realistic. Because I'm thinking, me now, one, as someone who works in town and running a small company, you find that it's not going to be feasible. I liked the justifications from council. No, emission, fresh air, watching. But what we're saying is we're going to cause more problems for ourselves. In which ways? We're going to have more corruption around this problem, this issue. Because the thing is, they are also human beings like me. We are likely going to have, that is my speculation. Secondly, what we're going to have is, instead of reducing crime, and we should not think that these youngsters who are cleaning cars, they won't have a sense that we will stop because there is a parking system in Bulawayo. No, it will not happen. What is going to happen is, like what my colleague who wrote and said, we are going to have more crime scenes in the city that are not maybe where people with the money are, but there's going to be obviously congestion in other areas. So my question to council is, have you checked what the poverty timeline report says about us as citizens? And do you think, and so far if you've been implementing whatever you're implementing, what is the response of the citizens? And lastly, I want to find out, to say, if we are saying US dollar legit bank rate, you know bank rate, how many of us here, maybe as quick sensors, can afford that kind of parking? And I understand that there's an aspect of saying, no, parking is for customer. I can't, if I don't get something at green, does it mean I have to go and pay again? Okay, just to find, it could be a money, 10 kg. So already I'm spending money that I don't have to be able to buy a product that I have not found in position A or position B. And lastly, from the citizen's perspective, I think this whole process, over to our events. So the backlash is likely because people don't have an idea what's going on. But also, in any rate, maybe they can afford $16 because they don't have any rate out there. They are working in the street. So if that was the mindset, I think they know especially maybe can try. But for business people and entrepreneurs, we are actually killing the economy that we are trying to revive. Thank you.
But anyways, it's not respond with the thing I didn't make up with. Anyway, let's go back to what we have said as council. Yes, so as long as we are parking for the full day on the street. That's why it's Kangela says we're still having that notion that somebody should park on the street the full day. Once we take away that notion, then who's us not this? What I would ask us to be saying is, all the packets that we have that are private, that people can rent for a month, for a year, are full. Council, what are you doing? Do you want to create another parking packet somewhere where somebody can park and rent a space for the full year, or for that will be in place? But when we now talk of still going back, I need to park for the full day, then we're losing the whole perspective of the parking management. Let's not lose parking management, because even if it is $1, just like in Harare, when you multiply that dollar and you do everything that you do, still PDL, it won't make that person viable a parking motor in the street in Harare. So let's look at these things. Among positions that we had or our understanding that we had need to be looked at, and then let's look at all the issues that have been put on the table, and say what is it that is on the table. I know what abantu, because we started only 30 minutes on, was saying 30 minutes, then we're calculating the whole city on 30 minutes. We're calculating 30 minutes zone out of the 7,200 parking bays in that. Yeah, it's about half. It's about 3,000, right? So it means that the other people they will still be able to park for a day. I mean, for an hour, for 1 hour, for $1. The issue is, as a city, can we really say we want people to park on the parking bays and kill and come and cry again? City they send the business on the business. City umuntu should park there, evule pambwako barons, a trade konapana city, because informal trading iyo ekona barons yena ekona konapana elama business licenses and everything. Is it what we want? Ungabuya kathesi, a lot of buildings, they are empty and people are trading on the streets. Is it what we want as citizens, that people should abandon all these buildings and trade on the city? Because what we tell them as their leaders is what people will become. Ungakanyeli occupancy rate yama buildings around the city, most of them are at 60%, and people are trading on the street. And is it what we want as a city? And when we do that as a city, where are we going at the end of the day? Yes, people should do their informal trading, but let them do their informal trading at the right pace. I can give you an example. Abantu abathengisa phambi kwabo grains. Lapha elokuze lapha kuthiwa ma lapho okwenzelwa khona ama fruits. The bays are empty and people are on the street. So should we encourage that as a local authority? I think these are some of the things that we need to ask ourselves as leaders of the city. That what is it that we need to do? Some sentiments are still going back there to say, I want to park for the full day and it's expensive for me to park for the full day. That's where the sentiments are. But are we saying what parking in front of OK is for OK managers and its employees to park there the full day? Then where should they park? These are things that we should be asking ourselves. And also, one of the interesting things is that if you look at most businesses, they are opening even into late hours. The parking will be paid, will be ending at 5 when most people are coming out of work, and then they can do malfungency, shopping and good. You can then do shopping and good. But during the day, we have allowed abanye to make trading very difficult, because we are patronaging some of those places and staying there. I-prime zone esikhuluma ngayo futhi, this is the zone where usually during the peak periods, like the Christmas and the like, vele sasivala laphana and kube more. We've always closed that place yaba more. And people have never said you're killing our businesses by making this place to be a mall. But the perspective is coming from the people who are not trading in that area to say no. So let's come out and say, as citizens, we want to park on the street for 8 hours. Then we ask ourselves, is it the norm worldwide that people should park on the what? On the street. So these are some of the things. Let's ask ourselves these questions. Is it the norm that I should park for 8 hours on the street?
I'm not sure if my question was answered. I don't know if it was answering my question or something else. But what I'm saying is a simple example. If I am here in this meeting, a consultative meeting as a resident, and it's going to be 1 hour, 30 minutes, will I be able to afford to attend such a meeting? I'm not here for the whole day. I don't work at Fidelity. I work somewhere else. So which means even for me to come here to attend a consultative meeting with the council, it will cost me how much? It's as simple as that. So the other stuff, I don't know if it was answering my question. I don't know. But thank you, Nyabonga.
The City Council they have crafted the policy without us. They assume sifuna lokho abakufunayo. It's not the case. And if one size fits all, it's different. Lapha esikhona asisebenzeni ngalokho esilapha. Abantu abasebenzi. And you are packing lisebenza i-US dollar. Abantu abaholi leyo US dollar. I-US dollar ekubosiphatheleni. Bayithatha ngapha abantu i-US dollar. And you assume yena ukuthi umuntu oyaphaka ku-okay or oyaphaka duze kwaku-okay umuntu oyakwenza i-shopping. But there are other retail shops or other shops eziduze kwe-okay ezithengisa i-furniture, ezithengisa other things, hardware, whatever thing, zikhona kwabaduze kwaku-okay. So again, you assume ukuthi abantu bonke ama-CSOs bonke are under number. It's not true. This is the same mistake eyenziwa kusenziwa kuze i-constitution ukuthi people fall under political parties. Therefore, our political parties ngifana ukuthi alethe abantu abazasebenza. Look at where we are now. Akhona a lot of CSOs angekho kunamba. So we need to go back to the drawing board as a city council. The consultation here is flawed. You can see that because the policy will only succeed when you have a participatory democracy where people would participate and tell you abakufunayo. And then you go and sit down. Let's come up with a friendly policy. This policy, as an family, is punitive. You're punishing us. In fact, to be frank, I think we need to clean our seat, but not the way Elfun wears. We need to decide. Moreover, if policy comes out of a need, the smart city, fair and fine. Just in front of your office is necessary. Upuma isewage. That area is stinking. A lot of areas so issue. Recently, you pay my bills, the services like WhatsApp, whatever thing. I'm savings over into. So it's smart city having your parking system. What about other things that will come into place when the route is smart city realize it? If you try and pay the bills, if we try and email you, and can do my emails. Secondly, when you had a toll-free number, we thought what it was a and answer. lafaka indawo liyana laphana etop ukuthi abantu babuye bazoreporta ama-breakages. We are going there. For instance, mina ngihambe 8 times there. Nothing was done. Nakathi amanzi avuza alahleka amanzi, yet amanzi ase-treated in our areas. So smart city is not only the parking, and theory is too, even you are theorizing, you are not being practical. Usitshela ngokuthi siyabe ilokuzeni ukupolluta this and that. It's not practical. Let's be practical. Kuyini okusihluphayo? How can we move from point A to point C in Bulawayo? But well, in the first place, why didn't you tell us the background of this partner in Lela Iketai? Ngobani bavela ngaphi? Lokho bakwenza lapha kathesi sebekwenze ngawo. We need to know that background. They need to have the experience of this thing. And how do we trust you, City Council? The system in Mulina, system of the building system, it's not working. We are patala today. Now usebeleta ilokuzini amabills ufuthi those ilokuzini oyibhadeleyo is not reflected. Kuthiwa you are owing. So fanele ukuthi we have different offices ukuthi uzulungise into leya. System it's antagonistic to what you are trying to do parking. You need to revisit that. I suggest that let's go back to the drawing board and do thorough research and do thorough consultation. As ufunayo as citizens, and then we both come out with a friendly policy. This policy is not friendly. Seriously punitive to people.
I would like to confine myself within the confines of the parking system. Truth weighs no mass. It resides at no one's house. It bows at no one's temple. The parking management system ifuzile ukuthi ibuye lapha koBulawayo. Esingafuna ngayo ipricing. Kuyana kwenzakala uGeorge Slundika, the 5th Avenue, where trucks come from another city, bazegeza lapana, bathengise, bavule anything. Something must be done. A parking management system. I started to think now if I might drive to Trade get this office. You will find amathumbu athengiswa phandle. You will find into eziningi ziyathengiswa khona phandle. Abantu who spend the whole day besenza business combined. That is my first attack. That is unacceptable. I will not accept that. Ngona nje siyafika lapha Trade Board ifike mphume ngiyengena than someone ozabuya ekuseni ngo4 o'clock afika pake lapha maybe kavela lapha kuBulawayo vela somewhere azethengisa into zakhe. Ngithi ngene this office there is no one. I cannot go there to the 10 minutes. Mrs. Kuman, I want to meet you in town. Let's meet. Go okay. We're safe. We're not going to buy anything. We want to go and meet. Go okay, because it is safe. As site you park up, we share parking there. Singapore pricing, but let's also be fair. Point fingers to ourselves. Whilst the local authority has done something in Alama floors here and there, there's no one who's perfect. There's no one who's an angel here. Never. E-parking management system, the only thing, all the time security department, it will become more expensive. When I have there's no investor. Try to go to MROC. It will take you 2 hours. And the master for So someone is coming with an idea. Singayimutha here and there. But I want to say this here and now. Parking management system equal maybe sesingakhuluma ngemali ukuthi imali. Hayi kungabe kuyadula ngabe kuyimali eningi. But it demand all the time is expensive. Then if ever we think all of us will come here in this room and they sit down, all of us will be up. Now we would system, my councillors, nobody, it will come in 5 years. We have not done very well. We're now electing someone. This is what we do. Logo what is that? It are telling the rope, would you said, someone who pay, we are this immortal. And I shudder to think we would say start employment. Okay, this is immortal Italian. So we are mentioning run to 10 so I accept there is no employment. But and if the entertainer into my investors we are now hamba by going in down by Botswana, by South Africa, by investor call. Even only investor corner pambula is so it is difficult to invest in Zimbabwe. Let's go away. Telling you 20 year man. That person akhuluma khona ukuthi imagine imali sinayisisazithi i-parking management system sesivumele isikhona sisifake isani nxa kungathenga okay I will tell my wife walk there ngizabuye nje ukuthatha I will drop you there ngizabuye after 30 minutes in the car but not spend 3 hours 10 hours why vele singaentertain into a whole day yona le why you must not entertain it few hours let's share this nothing in there sibone ngizwesikhuluma nge-rating. Currently, as we speak, if you have to pay in swipe, we are doing it's expensive, but it's 50 cents. It's expensive, I accept. I mean, our savings are what about okay, not live this kind of city. We let traffic jungle and see you. I had project manager ngobusela obuningi le mali ezithathwa if you can go now, member of the back force. Kubuhlungu ngoba idolobha liningi. Kodwa ke into engayitsho kiyo pricing nabengabona ayingcenye singaxoxa qale sikhale sijayele kodwa parking management system ibuye ipuzile manje ibuyizolo yazi kwaba le dikho lapha ngakho chicken inn ebusuku amabhasi aphuma ngo 12 o'clock. And let me tell you unukumcembo ungayi market asikhambeni kanti siyefika ku market labana ku 5000 kula maro la ngi7 abhakela city council menhlale nje khangibike lapha yahithiwe lapha employment ayikho isleave them abantu abazaba right kula ma stall that kumele sizisole while sizisole council kumele point ama fingers we have not done very well on our side. I thank you.
You can also have your say in this program by sending us your viewpoints on the number appearing below your screen. We would like to hear what you think about this city parking management system that the Bulawayo City Council has rolled out. We've come to the end of Fix My City. My name is Lesley Moyo. Let's meet again in the next edition of this particular program.